lie to people and pretend that that's somehow funny. Did you know that a contextless environment is not a great place to tell jokes that are very much steeped in specifics?
Yep.
To be fair, they used to be so much worse. I remember a website, I think it was Sheezy Art, where at one point they sent out like a moderator message of like, "Hey, fucko, you're in deep shit," and then they put a link in there, and that link was just a rickroll, and I was the only one who was asking what the hell is going on. Cause like I saw a bunch of journals show up, people like, "What the fuck's going on? Am I in trouble?"
I saw one today where someone was talking about how Biden signed in a bill effectively making it white boy summer.
I don't even know what that means.
It's Chet Hanks, Tom Hanks's kid, is talking about how it's white boy pride summer, and everyone's making fun of it. And someone said, "Yeah, and actually, here's the executive order." It was a link to Rick Rolling.
But on the plus side, I'm kind of glad that it stays to Rick Rolling because you know what you're getting into, and it's still a catchy song. Unlike some people
It
who
is,
will link it to bad things like screamers.
and he's back these days. If you haven't heard,
I know that they upscaled him with AI.
Yeah, but that
no,
was taken
he
down,
came in.
sadly.
Oh,
He did his own thing.
Well,
what?
no, I mean like they upscaled the actual music video to 4K. Like,
Yeah,
well, someone did.
he's on TikTok now,
Yeah.
and he did his own. He did a new version of it.
I can't believe what a fucking champion this man is.
Yeah, he said
Legend.
he just wanted to do it again because he wanted to make people happy.
Anyway, kids, if I recall correctly, last time we were going into a house that was covered in boulders and vines.
Yeah,
The wind overhead, the smell of semi-decaying plant matter in the air, also moldy furniture. Honestly, this place really does smell like a bunch of dead trees piled on top of each other. If I recall correctly, Martha had just liberated some fine loot.
yep. I got some spell strike arrows or uh spell strike ammunition.
That is amazing.
And you know, would you like to continue exploration, or should we just do the skull thing?
What do you think, Delilah?
Well, I think we've pretty conclusively proven there's nothing living up here. If there was, they
There
probably
are
would have
higher
come.
floors, by the way.
There are.
Yeah, these little staircases. No, no, wait. I actually always forget like how you get to the higher floors because it's very unobvious. Yeah, I think you need to go. No, listen, there are
I
higher
think.
floors. How do you get
I
to them?
Well, these aren't downstairs, so these would have to go up.
Yeah.
Oh, those are upstairs. Yes, it's a very awkward way to design your house.
It can be hard to tell the direction of those things.
Okay, so how do we get to the next floor? Well, you specifically have to go up, up either the ones in the chapel or just the arbitrary one. Listen,
I
this is
think we should take these ones.
what's funny is that the ones in the chapel don't properly denote that they are two-way stairs going upwards further.
Yeah, there's kind of no way to tell that.
Yeah.
It's the part where I look at the camera and I wiggle my eyebrows and wow wow.
I like it. Kind of makes sense because here they start small
Yeah,
and they go big.
that's the
And they
universal
go up.
language, yes.
Yeah, but these they start big and they go down.
But on the next floor, they do have travel. So, point is, kids, if you would like to, you could go to the higher floors where things might get a bit dangerous with all this flooring. But
I'm gonna go up the stairs.
Yeah. We pretty much looked around here so far.
Yeah, might as well since we've combed through everything.
some. You can go up to the second floor yourself by using the navigation bar, if I'm correct. If I did this properly.
Navigation.
There's a navigation bar. Oh, there we go.
How do
I
I?
see it
Where is
now.
it?
Four for you.
Oh, okay, I see it now.
Is Shaska coming? Because I don't know if I clicked it right.
They're now snobbish.
Uh,
Because again, I forgot to turn off the random thing.
No,
Walking
Shaska, don't
around,
be snobbish.
walking around with a little snoot in the air.
Snoot, get a load of that snoot. Love it.
Licking their chops.
Important detail that many people forget when they make a house with a semi-complex layout. Get one of those isometric views so people know what the overarching structure is like. I don't know why Curse of Strahd really skimped out on a lot of the flashy stuff. It's also a rare module that actually is like, hey, draw your own battle maps because you can't print out anything for Strahd's castle. It's all isometric, baby. Good luck. And all I can say is, I know it used to be isometric, but back then, different times, different times. Point is, you are on a new floor. The damage here is far more extensive. Up ahead, the room is filled with debris. The air comes in cold and clammy. Light from the sun shines in.
I do not see this floor.
It's white.
Yeah.
It will probably take a
Refresh.
moment for the asset to load in. Literally, Bella.
Hmm?
Dizzy isn't even in, apparently. Dizzy's been having
I-
issues.
Yeah, I had to refresh.
What I will give this set
Prob-
of maps, though, is that they do have, like, the lower floors are visible but blurry. And as I guess everyone is just dying from this awesome map. I'm pretty sure I'm using the one that I made smaller. That's, like, pretty compressed.
Alright, I can see now.
Oh, so we have to reset. Alright, I'll try that.
I'm going to use preload scene more often. I need to remember to use that. It's so useful. Put your paws in the air like you just don't care. Bup, 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 bup. Bup, 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 bup.
I can now see.
I can see. I can dance.
I can see too.
There's double doors here.
On the next floor, you have to go through a little raggedy carpet whose bottom has torn up as a result of scraping across the stone floor. There's not much dust here, but there is, as I mentioned, the debris up ahead. There's a door that goes north. Through it, thou will findeth. Is it a dining
Uh,
chamber of some sorts? No. It is a place you could have a long and argumentative discussion about things, if you felt like it.
Anyone want to have a long argument, conversation in this room?
Potentially.
Not really.
Oh, come on.
Shaska was master of the debate team.
Sasha's on the debate team? What a chimp.
She borks and you can't really argue with it.
Further for context, the room ahead of you is in a bit more stable shape than the rest. There are cobwebs in the corners, there's a layer of dust and everything. Finely carved wooden chairs surround a very finely and intricately carved wooden table that features imagery of dragons and the lot. The room itself has a thick air that when it touches your skin is like you're walking into a thin gelatin.
Wait, air does?
Yeah,
Ew.
That feels weird.
I don't like it.
go from crisp, clean air to boo. Ugh.
I'm gonna tell Shafka to sniff around.
Even
If she
though
smells
the wind is
Sneef, sneef.
mild, the destroyed structure up ahead, Crucius, causes this sharp howl. Shashka takes a sniff around and immediately just starts sneezing from all the dust. Ugh.
no.
Get that little pupper sniff sneezing where they shake their head. And they turn around and look at you with that accusative puppy gaze, like, nah.
It's like, why did you make this room, Martha? But I didn't.
Why would you put this in front of me, Martha? She's like baby bait. I'm gonna try to cross over this rubble. I'm having just tremendous movement lag.
Oh no.
Yeah, my internet's been a bit fuggy lately. I don't know why. Or there might have actually just been Balloons TD in specific that was being fuggy.
Yeah, because like I try to move and it's not moving me. I'm just gonna try, see what happens if I do a roll real quick. Oh my god, it's not even going to load my.
Maybe we try reloading.
I think I need to restart Firefox. It's free.
Mine's moving fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think I need to restart Firefox.
Ah, it's possible that you're running into the walls that aren't here.
No, I was trying to move like one block to the right.
Also, I'm not running into the walls. I can just move through them.
Yeah, not all the walls are there. I kind of gave up on it because for some reason a lot of 5e maps have this weird hyperbole in the center. Like they're slightly spherical so that like the graphs the grids never quite line up. It's hilarious.
Okay, I think Firefox was
Actually,
freezing because
mm,
I did not want to close there.
pretty sure Firefox is ending up with one of those lists of like things that people don't support by default, considering that everyone's always talking about using Chrome to develop their apps. So, oh, you gotta press F12. Ho ho ho.
Because Chrome's a crazy monopoly, but
Google.
I use Firefox.
I blame Microsoft's slipping grip and the eventual downfall of Opera and the association. Also, the fact that Chrome just offers an easy alternative. Where even is
Oh, that's why Firefox was updating.
where even is my phone? I just realized. I should probably go look for it because I thought I just heard it buzz.
Go
Oh,
get
you do that
phone.
while I'm coming back in. Okay, let's see here. Holy shit, I can move. Okay.
Yeah.
Hooray!
Yeah, Firefox is forcing an update.
Okay. Well, didn't actually go buzz buzz telephone. That's a Pokemon thing, isn't it? Where the thing goes bring telephone telephone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, ring, 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 ring,
Pokemon.
ring,
Pokemon.
phone call.
Nah, I'll be honest. If my telephone just started yelling at me, I think I'd suffer less of an anxiety attack because of how stupid it is.
And then change your ringtone.
Gosh, where would I change my ringtone to? So, hello, you back.
I am, and everything's running.
Hooray.
I
Stupid.
can move now.
Stupid Mozilla wanting to do all the updates.
They learned from Windows 10. If they want to make you update, they just make it not work.
I had a funny one last night where my OneDrive was updating. It's like, you just have to upload a small few pictures. Why are you being so difficult about this? Why did you wait several minutes before you started to sync?
Because update.
That's my fart contribution. I hate English words where they change like that. Like, it's electronic or electronically. Ugh, there's one of those. But I forgot what it was. My brain's just farting. Fart, fart, fart.
Toot.
No, no. I will not sing the Magic Bean song. Not on live TV.
That's
No.
illegal anyway.
But yes, Crucius, you move into the rubble. It's dangerous.
Yes.
Be careful for your ankles, or you'll snap.
Also, don't forget to restore one hero point.
Oh yeah, new session.
Bello's good at remembering those kind of things. As mentioned, the roof area has collapsed. A massive boulder lies covered in debris. Up above are rafters and some sort of attic? There's only one more floor above here, by the looks of it. Puddles of rainwater sit around. The wood is swollen. It is honestly kind of, you know, rotty. What's this small chamber? Oh, that's a ruined bathroom. Great. So yes, off to your east is a ruined bathroom, where the bathroom itself has gotten filled with debris and contains corpse. Or the remnants of one. The polite way to describe it is the intermediary stage between skeleton and zombie,
Oh, corpse.
where some of the tendons still connect the bones together, but it's also one of the situations where it's best to turn your brain off, not think about it, just kind of scoot around.
Just ignore the dead.
Don't touch it.
And hopefully the dead will ignore us.
We've had bad luck with that sometimes. I go in here first.
The Mambela, also known as the Hungamunga, or the Danisco. What the hell, man? You can't fool me, Pathfinder 2nd Edition. That's not a thing, and it is. It's a really weird looking weapon. Ooh. Hunga bunga. What do actually is this a shit traits? Huh. You move over to another set of double doors, and there appears to be another set of stairs just up ahead, and a door to your south. You can see the stairs to the door, which hangs lazily off of one of its hinges. The other one is no longer connected to. Through the door you are adjacent to, if you were to give a peek through it.
Which I assume Crucius does.
I do. I peek.
You find a large study of sorts. Several large bookcases line the walls. There's even some extra bookcases in the center of the room. The door you were standing in front of, by the way, has the clear telltale signs of someone forcing the lock. Like one of the sections sticks out when the doors were shut. Off to your west immediately has been some sort of concentrated effort to force a large set of iron doors open. The iron doors themselves lie, rung up like tissue papers in the hands of large, sheening metal vines.
Hey, these? Oh, there? Or
Yeah, that leads into this reinforced chamber,
okay.
where the
I'm gonna
walls are
go
lined with iron grate.
look at that a little bit, because that's interesting.
I'm gonna look at the bookshelf, see if there's anything on there.
Books. Or to say sporadic books. This looks like the kind of bookshelf where, like, once upon a time, they'd just be full, but now probably took all the books that are worth anything, so all that's left behind are pretty useless reference materials for old, boring, snorry things. Ugh. Also, you notice now that there's a painting right above the fireplace, which has been slashed to pieces.
Oh?
Yep.
What of?
Appears to be some sort of chivalrous man. He is portrayed with a certain air of positivity and dignity.
Well, whoever owned this place was a goody goody.
Was keyword, it would appear.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go look at this place.
Give me
This
one moment.
tower.
Give me one moment. I love, by the way, that I know that Roll20 came with this, but you know what doesn't come with the little readability things? It's the core book. So this is that Roll20 helping me out here.
Also, Bella,
Mm.
real quick, that My Little Pony game I mentioned that had weirdly huge amounts of microtransactions.
Yeah.
Okay, I found the breakdown. So
Mm.
at launch, to buy everything in the game, all the ponies, buildings, and decorations,
Yeah.
would cost 3 years of daily play, or $100. And some of them were random chance, so you might not get all of them. And certain things could take the premium currency, and there were no confirmation messages. So you could accidentally spend it and lose days of progress. And then they added more stuff, which brought it up to 15 years
You
of daily play. And the last thing you got was Rainbow Dash.
Yeah.
They did
Wow.
remove a lot of it.
So
Some
what was
say
this?
people- Some
There
say
was
people
a
still playing to this day.
there was a My Little Pony town making game where you could unlock different characters as time went on. Use premium currency for all this stuff that you could earn a little bit of per day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a low amount, and some of them were so expensive. Like you could earn maybe 3 or 4 premium gems a day, and every 10 days you could earn like 7 or 8, right? Uh, Princess Cadence alone was 650. And you couldn't just get the ones you wanted, because to get the last ones, you had to buy them in order. So you could just save up for Rainbow Dash. You had to buy a couple
What
of years worth of saving
what
of other ones to get to her.
what a weirdly hostile system. Like, isn't the whole point of the daily thing to be like, oh, you can almost afford something, you know?
Yep.
Keep you coming back. Make that thing useful, interesting, worthwhile.
Especially since, a portion of their market is, little kids.
Oh no, that was the goal, was that they get kids who were upset enough they couldn't get their favorites to get their parents to pay for it.
Yep.
4 years in, they reduced a lot of the prices and made it easier because they were losing people playing it.
4 years in. Let that one sink in for you.
I already have a couple of sinks.
To quote Jim Sterling, modern video games are just they make problems and they sell you solutions.
Yep.
Point is, you're standing inside of a study that looks like it's seen better days. What are y'all doing in this room?
There's nothing of, interest on the bookshelf.
I mean, unless you're interested in stuffy old history tomes. In Librams of yesteryear.
I didn't build my deck enough for Librams.
I'd have to counter on those.
I still like the Librams word the motherfucker just invented on the spot like an asshole. It's apparently not a
That
real
is
word.
how words work.
No, it's not a
Well, it
real
is
word.
now.
And Guy Gex just like, it's a word now. Abracadabra, abracazoo.
Look, I was telling Claire and Ringo this one earlier. George R. R. Martin, guy who writes Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He writes on a Commodore 64
What a fucking champ.
because he writes so many words that aren't real, he got tired of adding them to the autocorrect.
You know, you could just turn the spelling checker off, but gotcha.
Yeah, he hated doing that. He also just liked the look of the old one more and got used to it over time. He's one of those guys who's so lazy that he'll do something completely out of the way to make his life somehow lazy.
Anyway, what are y'all doing? I know that Martha is skimming the shelves for something interesting.
I was gonna take a closer look at this iron mess of a door.
I mean, if you're looking for a twisted piece of art that almost feels like it's trying to talk about man versus nature, then it might be worthwhile. The vines appear to come out of nowhere. Like, it's just chunk out of the stones you're standing on, and have contorted themselves around the door, squeezing them until they are wrinkled like tissue paper. At some point during the proceedings, or perhaps even before they started their work on the door, the vines have been coated in some sort of metallic substance, giving them a shiny sheen.
So probably not flammable.
I mean, you can go in. That's not a problem.
Oh. I'll just kind of carefully squeeze my way in then, I guess.
Uh. Going in, you enter a chamber where odd silence befalls you. Around the place are shelves upon which sit standards, busts, small chests. There's even a large shelf in the corner where you could hide hundreds of potion bottles. But they're all empty, picked clean, utterly and completely. It's so silent in this chamber that you can even hear the blood rushing through your ears, if you have that. But you don't. You corpse.
Because you're a monster.
Oh, don't be mean. I'm doing my best.
I wonder what your own body rotting but then stopping to rot would sound like in your ears. Spooky.
Probably
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
It explains why she's so edgy.
I mean, to be fair, I usually don't hear the blood in your ears. It takes like a very quiet chamber to do that. Anyway. Crucius, what were you doing during all this?
I was looking over at this tower for a minute, and now I'm walking back towards this door.
The tower is empty. But, you know, it looks like something big was kept here, maybe some sort of mount, because the center of the chamber has this distinctive circular mark. Like if a dog sat down a million times on the floor, causing it to eventually slightly sag and wear down. Pretty big pet, though.
This place is weird.
Huge mungus.
Time to go this way, I guess.
Eventually, you all hear the footsteps crawling through the debris. There's the occasional snap and squish of wood. Up ahead, you see some sort of throne room. So here's the thing, by the way, that always bothered me. If you pay really close attention, like you're a fucking eagle eye, if this chamber was supposed to have a double door, which it probably does because it's a fucking throne room, it doesn't line up. This section is slightly... Yep, slightly lower. So, it doesn't quite line up. Which is a minor detail, easily overlooked, but I personally think that's funny. Also, it's a double door that leads straight into a hallway, so you bump your face on the bathroom wall, which is kind of awkward.
And if
Crucius,
someone's passing by, you just nail them with it.
it does have defensive benefits, yes, to have a double door that doesn't go straight to somewhere else. It makes it harder to use a battering ram. In fact, certain chambers and castles were designed, particularly back entrances, were often designed in such a way as to have a small intermediary chamber where you couldn't use a battering ram. It's called smartness. Poise Crucius, you're inside of a large chamber where many bodies litter the room. It's quite the sight. Not all the bodies are human. Some of them are humanoid, like they're shaped like a person, but they're made of tree matter. Some of them are more comical depictions of human shapes.
Is there any way I could try to identify what kind of magic or such made these tree creatures?
I mean, if they had any magic in them, they're just corpses at this point. Magic fades over time, after all. But, you know, you could, if you know nature, you can try something to figure out what nature's going on here.
I know nature, but...
I do know hurt.
But Bella is going to the bathroom. Let's say cursor hover over there.
Yeah, if Martha could take a look at those. Nature is kind of her thing, being a ranger.
Do you suggest this?
Yeah, I would suggest you to come look. You're the nature person.
Alright, then I will come look at the corpsey thing while Shaska just sits in the bathroom.
She's enjoying herself.
Roll me
No,
nature.
I almost rolled Shaska's nature, which would be drastically different.
Chaska sees a leaf and is excited.
Yeah, these are just plant creatures. Which is so. How as magical as an undead is, or like a winter wolf or a griffin, that's about how magical these plant creatures are for the most part. If they were summoned
Uh,
or animated, they would have suffered much more severe decay because the magic, once it goes away, gets replaced by like the opposite reaction, which is more rapid onset of decay and rot and general damage.
these are just nature boys.
The throne, by the way, faces away from you, giving a good view of the courtyard and the large statue therein. There does seem to be someone sitting in it.
Carefully walk closer.
Walking around it carefully, you see a full-plated man clinging to, well, not clinging. They sit with a dignified pose, the sword lazily in against their arm, the blade tip pointed down towards the ground. Um, Now, the element that catches your eye first and foremost is probably the massive sword that is impaled into them. But it takes you a moment to realize that's not a sword. That's some sort of bolt. Like, it's some sort of thing you would fire from a ballista. And then you look at the window, and while the windows have, like, holes in them from, like, aging and eventually falling apart, there's one hole that is just this thing that's perfect for this large metal thing that impaled this corpse, pinning him to the sheet.
Ooh,
The
that's
sword,
Oh,
evil.
great medieval.
the sword that he's
One hell
holding
of a shot.
has this translucent, like gooey coating that flicks up like flames. A dark aura, one might say.
Okay, try to identify it.
Sure, use some identification skills.
Efficiency. I'm a religion at it.
Religion, religion, religion. I mean, it doesn't really matter where you throw these things. Like, generic magic items are just that. This is. I mean, it's a great sword, but it functions like a katana would. It's designed to be used in an elegant fashion, more than the big, effective swings of a greatsword. Um, Let me just reassure. Yep, there we go. So, the katana has the following traits. It's a 1d6, deadly 1d8, two-handed for 1d10 power. Now, the thing about this weapon, though, is it is a major striking +3. So, on a good swing, it does 66 damage. Or 66,
Christ.
Damn,
and I think 3d8 because deadly scales with your rune too. So,
damn.
bitch hurts. And it has a +3 to attack rolls. The downside is that dark tainted aura. Um, if you're of good alignment, the weapon siphons some of your strength and ability. It's unholy.
Hmm.
So anyone who has a good alignment is enfeebled by it as long as they clench their little fingers around it. And it might have auxiliary effects, because it seems to radiate a desire of hate.
Well, that's whack.
Yeah, that's spooky.
Spooky, scary.
Skeleton.
No, it's a werewolf bar mitzvah. Boys becoming men, men becoming
Men
wolves.
becoming wolves.
So what'd you find there, Crucius?
Found an evil-looking sword.
Was this an evil-looking man in an evil-looking throne?
Well, I mean, he's dead. Like, he's super dead.
Yeah, I don't think you can get much more dead than ballisted through the chest.
Golly.
Well, we may as well take the magic item, but I'm not going to draw it.
Yeah.
See if I can remove it, just in case.
I mean, he's not holding it. It's like leaning against his arm, the handle.
Yeah, I'm going to try to take that and put it in a scabbard.
As your hand reaches for the handle, the shadowy emissions turn into this hand that tries to grab onto your forearm. Once you grab it, though, the shadowy emissions will just go back to normal. And you are enfeebled to as long as you possess this item.
I mean, as long as I hold it, or as long as I...
As long as you possess it, its aura erodes at you.
Hey, Delilah, you want to carry it?
Yeah, probably best not to have the melee fighter carry the poison sword.
Technically, Martha is evil, so the sword would not affect her.
Well,
Martha looks like you get a magic sword.
Are you sure that you want to give the already evil person an obviously evil sword? Filled with
She
hatred?
doesn't seem like the kind of evil that's trying to kill us. I'm pretty sure she's in control of that part.
I appreciate your optimism, thank you.
Besides, I could take Martha.
could you take Martha with this really powerful evil sword?
Could you take Martha under the influence of something stronger than Martha?
I don't know, the body's all I have to kill.
Again, I like your
Debatable.
optimism.
I'll take the sword anyway if we want to lug it around.
You could tie it to Shaska's back.
Don't corrupt the pup.
She's
I-
uncorruptible.
It's happened before.
It did once. She became like a super lich.
Dogs will do
Shashka.
that.
What is it this time, Shashka? He's like, bork. Shashka's actually
Bork,
also
but-
not affected, since, you know, Puppo.
So is it gonna be in the loot sheet or?
I'm gonna throw it on the low sheet in a minute.
Yeah.
Luckily, you can put things together very easily. Hey, person making the 2E sheet, did you know that the three people who made the 3.5 sheet have, like, you can throw enhancements on? And then, when you're smart about it, it will automatically generate the name if you put the enhancements on. There's, like, a little button for it. You can do that, you know? Just fucking do it, you cowards. There, an elegant... Oh, wait, no. Oh, please don't touch anything right now.
Okay.
This thing is extremely twitchy.
I was just reading it.
What the fuck is warp glass? I'm gonna look that
Cool
up.
sounding.
It sounds cool, yes. It's unholy. Where's unholy? There she goes. That's your mo, whichever way. Yeah, what the fuck is warp glass? I think that's all that needs to be taken care of. Plus 3 major striking. Unholy. There we go. Big name
Alright.
for a big sword.
Goes into my pockets.
Pockets. Here we go. Warp glass. If you critically hit a creature with a strike with a warp glass weapon, it is affected by the warp wave and automatically fails its saving throw.
It's martial. I can actually wield this. I thought it was gonna be advanced.
Warp waves. You roll a 1d8. You are clumsy 2, confused, and gain 46 temporary hit points. Dazzled, enfeebled, immobilized, quickened, slowed, or wow. Well, that fucking sucks. Don't get hit by warp glass, kids. Hurts. What if you make armor out
Also,
of it? Probably
we
just
have
shatter
half
and
plate.
Oh, wow. Elven Chain is now a specific thing, huh? Elven Chain is a chain shirt made out of myth. Why? Why are you like this, Paizo? Why did you do this for the second fucking time? I shake this armor aggressively at them. Like, why did you do this again? Elven Chain was kind of cute when 3.5 did it, but you don't need it in 2E. Get out of here. Shoo.
Now I could replace my my armor with that half plate.
Oh, no, it's like full plate.
Oh, there's a half plate lying in our
Loot sheet.
sheet.
Well, if you want to take the full plate off of this corpse, you can do that.
I mean, full plate would make me pretty tanky.
There is, of course, the fact that there's a large hole in the armor, but hey.
There is that. I'll work on that part later. Wonder what happened here, aside from the ballista bolt.
I mean, this is clearly like a site a battle took place. Judging by the fact that there are corpses of two very different persuasions.
Yeah, we've been finding a lot of, combat damage to this whole building, so.
Looks like
Yeah.
their leader never made it to the fight.
Or he fought well enough, got tired, sat down, and then got bodied.
I'm gonna go with my idea, probably.
Or the fight made it to him, and then the ballista came.
You see, though, this is why you don't have your throne pointing towards a window.
Yeah, it's kind of a dangerous spot. Usually put it in like the back of the throne chamber.
Unless this guy was so confident that, he believed in his power, outright.
Maybe the
And that
view's just really nice.
it could be power play, He's so powerful that, he puts his life in danger directly.
Maybe
But-
pretty badass if you got shot in the chest by a ballista bolt and you're like, I'm gonna stay alive and guide my men. But what do I know? I'm not a corpse or a man dying from a ballista bolt to the chest.
Or a king. Well, I'm gonna look around this room for any other weapons or tools of note or possible clues.
Again, much of the most interesting items seem to have been taken already. And by the way, since you are taking that full plate, apparently.
Nah, I won't. It's too
No.
damaged.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a -1 penalty. It's just a big hole where your vitals are.
I could try repairing it.
It's
That
also
would be very difficult.
it's also found on a body that's pinned to a chair, so removing the armor itself is not.
Yeah, I'll just stick with my scale until we get to a town or something.
Kaboom! It's gone now. I like that Dizzy's very interested in using a weapon that does not, in fact, doesn't have finesse, so you can't use your dexterity to attack with it, Bella. It's kind of cute when you think about it. Oh man, I don't know what's going on, but the ammo counter on your the strike sheet has like a really long bar. Oh, it's because you have spellcasting ammunition. That's why.
5,000 bolt clip.
No, it's because spell strike ammunition telekinetic maneuver type 2 is like a really long name, and the thing adapts to that apparently.
Ah,
Anyway, unless you want to collect a large amount of mundane and somewhat rusted equipment, there's not too much in this room by the looks of it.
well, there's one more floor to go check.
And then we put the dragon skull.
Yes.
It is
Is
kind
it
of interesting
down here?
to look at a hallway like that, Delilah, and it just ends.
Yeah.
It has the same kind of elegant cutoff as if someone had some big baby slammed their arm down.
I assume there's like nothing in these rooms. It's just kind of ruined floors with
Yeah,
nothing.
because of the beams are sagging, the whole floor is concave.
It's probably dangerous to even just stand in there.
Anyway, please stand still while the elevator boops you up. I could just implement the
Yeah.
fucking stairs, actually. That would be a good idea. Going up, you find yourself where a massive section of roof has collapsed in on itself over time, and it looks like it's just rotting further and further. Like in just a few more years, there'll probably be not much left of this roof. That's on top of the stone roof, I mean, like the wooden structure with the tiles that's on it. Up on the rooftop, you can see several large ballistae pointed in various directions, a massive tower behind you that goes up to a lighthouse-esque structure. It's well fortified. The smokestack's sticking out, but well, a real good castle wall. Well, this feels a little silly. Because those ballistae can't aim at anything nearby.
I assume you can turn them to like shoot at
Yeah,
anything.
but like any decent attacker's just gonna hide under, the little overhang over your front door. So this is a pretty crummy defensive position, people who made this module. It lacks the proper setup and execution of bottlenecks.
Well, I'm gonna look around while the others do something, see if there's anything out of sight over this way.
There are some. So this is the weird part. You're like, okay, these ballistae aren't in the best possible spaces, despite being on these round little cute little towers. Oh, they can aim at the walls. But what gets you is someone has used ammo. There's a stack of ammo, and it's not a full pyramid. There's like obviously bolts missing. There's some people manning the weapon itself. It's aimed upwards, and the corpses and their weight keep it in that position. Although it might just be the mechanisms that do so.
How interesting.
They were shooting castles in the sky. Just the
Or
two of
something that
us.
can fly. Or going for the super long shot, I guess.
Yeah, the Hail Mary.
He's like 7 miles away. Take him.
We can take them if we
Just-
try.
Oh my god, they shot the guy on this side. He shot so far, the bolt came all the way back around and killed the king. Mystery solved.
That'll do it.
Now,
That man was then kept alive forever for being the best man. Still, nothing much here either.
unfortunately,
That man's
Galarian is
name was
round.
Quaint Queen.
Well, I'm gonna go check out this lighthouse. I mean, nothing else I'm seeing.
He wants to deal with this busted one.
Probably broken during the battle.
Probably, but it takes a pretty good shot to just destroy a ballista on top of a building.
Well, the ballistae are in good shape. They're not damaged in any way.
This one.
Yeah. The one that's
Oh
very
yeah,
clearly.
the one that.
in
Oh yeah,
pieces.
excuse me. I was looking at the top ones. Though that one seems to have more fallen apart because the parts have rusted away than any structural damage. Crucius marches over to the large tower, which I want to know who designed this place because the connections are very awkward. You can enter these walkways over here at the second and first floor, like ground and first. And you can't enter here. You have to go one more floor before you can enter the main tower. Which is a really weird way to look at this. Why did someone build it like this? What was your plan, bucko? Put up those dukes.
Don't know
Give me
what
the
the plan
goods.
is.
Show me the beans.
The baby baked beans. I'm gonna go up.
I'm a wait outside.
If it ain't
for
bait,
the
it ain't
time
great.
for Delilah.
If it ain't bait, it ain't great.
Holler if anything attacks you.
Why?
I will.
Why are you all so pessimistic about this? Come on. I don't have a gun. Moving into the large tower. The air here is smells have accumulated here, but you're not sure what they are. They definitely are sweet. The walls are painted in all kinds of molds. It's remarkably humid here. The wooden railing just feels damp in your hand. From here, they got a really good view of the chapel. Wow.
Well, up the stairs I go.
Hey, Delilah.
Right.
Going up the stairs, however, Crucius, I will require from you a specific role.
Yes.
A role of your will, your mental fortitude, your strength of mind.
Will save.
Yes. Good
I'm
enough.
good at these.
As you walk up on the stairs, down below, you eventually hear the what is it, like the prayer noises. You hear praying and chanting. That's the word, chanting. From people coming down below. This is not like actual sound because you don't feel the reverberations. It's just a noise in the air that fills your ears, which eventually erupts into the sounds of violence, and then the screams of people falling down, the swoosh of their robes, the distant splat of their bodies against the altar, the shattering of skulls and bone. For a moment, it tugs at you to follow the said example, but you manage to shake it off.
I mean, it wouldn't hurt me.
I mean, that's a very cute thing to say, but haunts are mean.
True.
You would have probably
I'm
tried to
just
fold your wings or something, because it is a compulsion effect.
Yeah, if it's gonna control.
If you're unconscious, you would
your
probably be fine, but if it's controlling you, yes, like Dizzy said, it would probably consider the consequences. And this is why you don't fuck with ghosts. Waggle waggle. But yes, you manage to shake it off. The haunt does not affect you.
You good?
yeah, I'm okay.
Had a little weird looking, right? But
Ah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
I don't worry
Conviction.
about it.
We believe in you.
So is
Be
there anything
strong.
up top?
You walk your way to the top of the tower. Further and further. The wood around you begins to creak. You're not quite sure how stable this place is, but it doesn't. It just makes noise every step you take, as if it doesn't want you to be here. At the top is quite a remarkable sight. It is a massive silver brazier. You know, one of those big pits. You put a big fire in for kicks. It is made out of silver, has not tarnished a day, despite that. But yeah, it sits there. It has a dragon ornamentation around it. The cup itself has a beautiful lip, making it easy to lift, but it probably weighs hundreds of pounds, considering its voluminous shape. Voluminous, I think. So I actually say it.
Voluminous.
Oh, English. Please change.
No.
You know that's not how it works.
How arrogant of you to assume that I was asking permission. Anyway, that's what's in
I
front
want
of
to
you.
investigate this thing. See if there's anything special I can discern.
It does radiate a certain reverent aura standing near it. Like, it distinctly has power and radiates it into the environment, but it's unable to express itself, get out, affect anything. Mm-hmm.
Can I try to use any identification skills on it? Figure out what it is?
You know what? Go ahead. However, this is specifically religion.
That's my best one.
I like that
Except today.
like that everyone's just waiting downstairs.
Hmm.
Who knows what this thing is supposed to be doing? It's too clogged up with something just not being the right way in the right place. You know, like the conditions haven't been met, and it's been sitting still like this for longer than it was ever expected to.
I'll start going up. Seeing what Crucius is up to. Eh, eh.
Eventually, you do find yourself in the large, lofty area at the top, underneath the stone ceiling, with all its many. Gosh, what do they make roof tiles out of? Clay of? Who knows? I don't know. But the roof is made out of roof.
Probably clay shingles or something.
That
Yeah,
makes perfect
terracotta.
sense. Man, what does
So,
terracotta mean as a word? I don't know. I wish it did.
terracotta means earthen made.
Hilarious.
Hey, Martha.
Yes.
I have a terrible idea.
Lay it on me.
That evil sword I gave you, and I'm not touching again.
Yeah.
Poke it inside this silver thingy.
Like, just like stab it.
Don't stab it, but just like put it there.
All
It
right.
does have that
I'll
flame
s-
motif going on with the aura and all.
I poke the great sword into the pit as if I was knighting the damn thing.
Normally, you don't stab things when you knight them.
You know,
More, more of like a shoulder tap.
Yeah, but bring it down, not blade down, but broad down.
Flat.
Yeah, flat.
and Harold was thinking you were about to slice the cake and officiate the wedding.
Just bam! Cut the whole thing in half.
And with a good hit, this thing probably can.
Silver's not a strong structural material, bitch.
Well, about you make this thing out of something a little bit sturdier? Ho, ho, ho.
Wait, I give it a poke.
Putting the sword's edge against it, like properly landing it down. It. Ooh. How to describe this? You know how the zap and then the shock and then the whoa that happens when you touch something and an electrical current suddenly comes into existence?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what happens. There's this roar, the large several 100-pound thing starts to quiver and shake, which isn't good because it's not fixed to the floor. Probably would actually be worse if it was fixed to the floor. And it pounds against it briefly,
Whoa.
which isn't very good because the stone floor ain't in good shape to begin with.
I back away.
So do I. Shield up.
Guys, what the hell are you doing in there?
Where you
There's
touched
a
it, the silver is now tarnished.
oh. There's a giant razor that does not like the sword.
I mean, I wouldn't blame it. It's kind of an evil sword.
It's kind of bouncing, Delilah.
Eh, I'm gonna stay down here.
Delilah's going to stay away from the future earthquake site.
Just gonna go down and support Delilah.
Sheska knows what's up.
But why don't you rub your little angel hands on the tarnished area? Make the boo boo better, Precious.
Pat pat.
Do you think that's how this works?
I mean that I rubbed a cursed sword onto it. I mean you're like the antithesis of cursed, I assume.
I don't think that's how this works.
Alright, sure. Let's ignore the fact that touching a sword to silver made it vibrate and tarnish. Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
How about instead this? I'll just throw holy water on it. Maybe that'll chill it out.
Any particular place you're gonna aim that bottle of goodness?
Right where the tarnishing is.
No need to rub salt in the wound. Ho ho ho!
Well, this is
Ho.
more like pouring water on the burn.
How optimistic. You don't have to roll me the good damage.
Well, I pushed the button to use it to
Oh,
get
so
out
yeah,
my
it
inventory.
automatically. Okay, cool. Little winky face. You'll pour the water down on top of the tarnished area, and while it does seem to make it go away a little bit, there's also this thing called silver polish that can help with that. Maybe you should try that instead. But you don't get this massive of the thing doing massive steppies.
How long does it take before I can attempt to identify something again?
You can't re-identify things on a dime. You need to learn something new, which is scale level up.
Okay. I was just curious how that operated. Well, whatever this thing is, Martha, it seems like it needs something not evil touching it.
Hey, again, you have glowy wings. But
Fine, I put my hand in the middle of it. Let's see if it reacts to my good blood. I'm not cutting my hand, by the way. I'm not doing
Well,
that.
the well, you're not gonna sacrifice your blood on this obvious dead blood altar. Look at how much it desires blood. It's made of silver, the most blood-desiring of all substances.
I thought that was bloodstone.
I mean, that's what you'd think.
Bloodstone is pretty radical, by the way. It does look pretty good. It's like a black
It's
rock
pretty
with
cool
little
shit.
with little red spots in it. Like, man, how can you look at that and not go, "That's a bloodstone"? It is the obvious, the answer. Um, putting your hand atop it. Sure is made of silver.
well, there we have, gone through all our options.
Is there anything on it that'll give like a hint for what it's for? Like any of the
Dragons?
runes or writing?
Like, there's a distinct dragon motif, and like the fire that licks the large bowl that's in the center. But there's no button or lever or nothing.
Maybe we put the dragon head in it.
That's a train of thought.
Sure.
You want to go get the dragon head?
Don't you have it?
The cart.
Alright, yeah.
Thing's heavy.
Well, we're going downstairs then, because I'm not carrying it on my own.
No, you're going downstairs. I'm jumping off the roof.
You take
Oh,
some
if you want.
time lifting this dragon skull all the way up here.
Yep.
This is neither an easy task and takes some time, and there's plenty of those moments where you're like, twist it, no, twist it. No, the
It's
other
like
way.
a fucking couch.
Pivot!
No, towards Delilah.
Away from the beepus. They plonk it down on top of the large silver bowl. It makes a satisfying sound, like ding. But you're pretty sure that's not what you wanted out of this, right?
Delilah, can you do fire?
Not really.
I'm looking at some of the tools I have. Wait, I'll just light a torch and put the torch in there.
So,
'Cause it shows fire.
I mean, there's nothing combustible inside. There's some holy water in there, though.
Yeah, I know about that part.
So if anything, it'll extinguish the fire. Holy water's still water, you know.
I'll just take a little cloth and just kind of,
Throw
Wipe.
that up.
clean it up. I have a holy cloth.
And we can use some rubble for tinder that's around the area and make a fire under it. If this
Yeah.
does nothing, then we go down to the tomb, okay?
All right. Point is, this does not do anything. There's again no combustible substances, so there's nothing for the fire to catch onto.
No, I
Uh,
said we could
You
go get
put
some.
rubble.
Yeah,
like,
some of
If you
the
put some
broken
combustible
wood.
materials inside, then that stuff definitely catches fire. But nothing particularly special seems to happen, unless its function is more subtle than that.
Oh, I'm almost disappointed in this. So let's take the skull out and let it cool for a moment.
I mean, if you set the skull on fire, you should be extremely careful with that.
Yeah. We
Which is
are.
to say, you better
Until
remove it
that's it.
from the bowl before you light anything.
Well, now we gotta carry this dang thing down these dang stairs again.
No, we don't. I'll take it.
What was the skull for again?
What?
I'm asking you just to see what you remember about this thing, because you don't have this because you picked it up yourself.
It was so we could put it in the catacombs.
And
So
here
we could
you are
inter it.
stuffing it into a large bowl.
We thought maybe dragon and dragon skull.
It's peak D&D.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna take this skull. I'm gonna wave to you guys and say I'll meet you at the bottom.
Yeah, and we'll take these stairs because they're quicker.
And I'm gonna jump down the middle of the tower.
So, I like that you're carrying this rather bulky skull all by your lonesome and just decide to trust on your parachute to carry you out through this.
I can cast Featherfall at will.
Can you roll me some athletics because you're jumping down the interior of a tower where there's only limited space to work with, and it's all a bit of a dodgy maneuver. I'm pretty sure no parachute instructor will tell you this is a good idea. Luckily, though, you managed to pull through. But you can tell in your gut that that was not necessarily safe or recommended.
But it
Wait,
was cool though.
how many times can you do Featherfall?
At will.
Yeah, but there's a certain implicit usage to it.
Yeah, it's meant to go on allies. Not at whatever I want. Which is why I had to carry the skull instead of just throw it.
Well, to be specific, it needs to be something conscious enough that it knows how to use those darn wings. And we're back downstairs with detached Suska, who's not interested in anything. Because, like, I don't get the bone, no one gets the bone.
Going to the bone zone.
Just the bone of us. We can
We
bone it
can
if we can. Making your way downstairs again. You've now been here long enough that this place starts to have an odd homey quality. But that's probably because you helped move the couch.
We did. I mean, when you do that, you get used to things.
You become intimately familiar with the corners, turns, and, oh boy, man, this stairwell's awkward to carry things up on. Delilah
Yeah,
heads to the downstairs graveyard, where bodies have been pushed out of the ground.
Okay, Delilah, let's go bury this thing in the catacombs or whatever.
And what's the worst that could happen?
A lot, but we'll see about that.
In fact, there are very
Got it.
specific things that should be going wrong, but actions you have taken have prohibited those from happening.
Bellas, like you said, we checked out the area before we triggered the quest. We haven't procced the encounters yet.
More the opposite, but hey. Well, you're
There you go.
downstairs in the little graveyard area again. What do you want to do? You want to put this
To
dragon
the
in one?
catacombs.
You head on over to the large mausoleum, which has been covered in a set of vines that are still sort of actively squeezing it. The rocks shift every few seconds as a result of that.
This is some magic shit.
It's
This
almost
is
always some magic shit.
I mean, that's right. But this shit's whack, yo.
I assume putting a skull with runes all over it on some magic shit is not gonna be
Didn't do
detrimental.
anything last time. Can I get in the door? Like, is the door available to enter?
Yes, the door is not an impediment to your ability to enter the structure.
Okay, I'm gonna go in with the skull.
It's an
So I'm
appreciable.
assuming Martha is now helping me with.
Oh.
Jessica's here for more support.
You enter
That's
into
her second best roll. Her other one is Chomp.
within this chamber are the obvious remains of what used to be a dragon. Although there's a slight what's it called? There's a bit of a problem. Most of the bones appear to have been smashed, tossed, turned, thrown about,
I'm
Jostled.
gonna,
jostled.
I'm gonna have to do like an entire service here just to make these people happy.
I mean, technically, you were just told to deliver some bones. A bone, specific. The skull. Although technically, a skull, as most people interpret it, would be bones, because the jaw is a separate bone.
It is, and actually, it's made of several smaller bones that fuse together.
This is the point where I turn to the camera crew and I do wow wow with my eyebrows.
Do that a lot.
Listen, when you
The
make
camera crew's getting kind of uncomfortable.
the camera crew needs to step up their game and start meeting me halfway. Anyway, you're standing in the middle with this couch between you. So what are you doing with it?
Well, is there anywhere we could place it?
Let's just say that the vines have done ample job clearing out the area. There are
Well,
enough
let's
shelves
go.
you can put it on.
Let's go put it down.
Ugh,
One finger down.
ka-chunk. Yeah, I would put it, but tunk is also permitted. Plopping it
And I
down,
funk it down.
the bones have been delivered. Just wipe your
Yeah.
hands clean. Although, can I get a perception check? No, no, there's no one in the room to do that. Okay, cool. Well, job done.
I went in what room? Or.
Hmm?
I assume it's not down here then. Never mind.
What's not down where? No, you and Crucius are both taking care of this little bone thing.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, since there's no one else in the room who wasn't busy with the bones, no one gets to make that one. So anyway,
No,
kids,
it's just out here in case anything happens.
just in case something from outside decides to mess with you, yes? Well, you're sure done that. Delilah, since you're outside, you would definitely notice that, like, at the top of the tower, the top section lights up. Like, you can see the windows and all having these glitters, as if a light source is on the inside.
Huh.
It's neat.
That is neat.
Oh,
I'm gonna do a quick prayer thingy so I can try to put these bodies to rest because this is unfair what happened to dead people.
This is the weird part where I turn to the camera and I lean in real close, and I grab a straw man around the shoulder, and I go,
I knew that camera crew wasn't real.
a lot of people are like, I don't like how players have 5-minute workdays, and what you can do against that is very simple. You just have arbitrary length workdays. Instead of having things work per day, they just work per session. Abracadabra, abracazoo, you've solved the problem, motherfucker. It's that easy. And you might say, well, that doesn't feel realistic. And I'm like, dude, the majority of people who need this rule are idiots who don't even run realistic games. Just fucking have fun and do what makes you happy instead of what realism. You throw realism out the window. It's the baby with the bathwater. Get out of here. Realism gets in the way.
Okay,
of things.
what brought this on?
It brought on the fact that I was thinking about what this would get you, and I was like, what about a daily ability? And I'm like, wait, what is a daily ability even? Listen, I think weird. I have problems. I go from A to B to Z, all the way. Baby. Point is, you've taken care of the skull, put it down, and a light source is lit at the top of the tower. So that's nice.
Yep, and the others are probably gonna move on because Crucius is doing a miniature service to try and put these people at rest.
yep.
To be fair, if your players are doing 5-minute workdays, you have far bigger problems regarding design and GM player trust. People always pretend that the problem are the rules, but the problem is actually the fact that, your players just aren't comfortable. Anyway, you move outside, leaving the bone behind. As you leave, you hear this loud crack all of a sudden coming from inside the mausoleum.
Ah.
Son of a bitch! Just clean that.
No, they crushed the skull that you just put in there. And the light source at the
Yeah.
top of the tower goes out again.
Oh well.
You were never
No one
told to
said-
take care of that, so...
I mean, we
Yeah.
did it. It's just, you know.
Yeah.
No one said the skull had to be intact.
I mean, what just happened?
You know those active vines that are growing around the place that probably made a mess or shattered the bones or something? Like, they're on the inside, too. And they crushed your skull when you left.
You You mean all the vines that weren't doing anything
I
and weren't
specifically
relevant up
mentioned
until
that
this point?
I specifically mentioned that the vines around the mausoleum were still active and alive.
So they waited until I was done with the service to go for it.
They're
Maybe they
polite
just
vines.
waited until the thing was stationary and they didn't have to do as much work. Like, it's specifically the vines around the mausoleum. Well, listen, you will have great expectations on how far a vine is willing to swing into the air to grab at a bone.
I mean, I didn't expect him to do that since they haven't really gone for us or anything this whole time.
Well, yeah, but we've been moving.
Also, they haven't gone for you, no. And fun fact, your whole trek up that tower, you didn't pass by a single one of them, so...
Yeah, like if we recently gone up these stairs, we wouldn't have passed any vines.
Yep. But again, you were never tasked with delivering the thing intact, you delivered it. At this point, it's out of your hands. He should have cleaned this place up if he was that concerned about the status of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, finish our task. I guess now we should go to the windmill.
I mean,
Which
strictly
we've done
speaking,
yet.
looking at the goal description, the goal is completed when the skull is interned at the mansion, which we did, which means it was completed and therefore cannot fail afterwards. So technically, we did win.
I mean, depending on what the specifics actually were, you may have failed the spirit of the goal, but no, he should have been more specific if that was the problem.
That's on them.
We like to call that one the "listen, man" goal. Also, I love the fact that by not taking part in the siege, you also technically postponed your ability to complete that goal by a significant margin. Hilarious. Anyway, yes, you have interned the skull. Give yourself 300 experience points. Kids.
Yay.
It's time to go over to Windmill Lady. How you just gonna walk over there past Valaki?
Mm.
It's a pretty straight trip. I was gonna ask if you guys have a cart, but that's my 3.5 crew, where they even insisted on buying a reinforced carriage. Como wanted to have one with a lock. Very concerned about bandits, that man. Very. Let's see. It shouldn't take too long to get there. Beep boop up, beep boop up. Yeah, you'll be there by evening, but that's if you go in a straight shot and don't stop along the way. And the risk exists that if you go there in a straight line and get there by evening, you might not be able to make it back to Valaki before nightfall. So, what the deal?
Probably go to Valaki before going to the windmill.
Have you been to both of
Yes.
Valaki before? I don't think so. I think this is your first visit here.
Yeah, since it's on the way.
Consider yourself one of the rare few people who've been to both sides of Valaki without crossing through it first. I don't want to get too snarky, but man, does this place look fucking linear when you zoom out a little bit. I mean, it makes sense for a valley-based village, a place where you just go from A to B.
Yeah, and like these are all hills and mountains.
I forgot to prepare any of the Valaki maps, so we're playing this one by ear. Slap, slap of the hands. Welcome to the town. Oh, wow, there's a section for rats. Nice. Oh, no, that's for random encounters. You may encounter a house filled with the rats. Delightful. Valaki is an interesting village to come across, for as you go deeper through the forest across the bridge, eventually, your eyes will set upon Valaki. Several dirt roads careen off to the forest to the south, but going further east, you eventually come across several houses that are built tightly along the road. Then a large wooden palisade. One of those big tree trunks with sharpened tops things. Big old gate made of wrought iron, tink tink, and several guards standing in front of it, keeping a valiant watch.
Well, make a presence known. Wave at the guards.
The man,
Hello.
the man at the door would like to know your business.
We're technically passing through, but we might, stay for some provisions, resources, and night.
Hmm. So there's troubles then.
Yes, sir.
Can I be honest? I want to know what the specialist is about 5. Because I'm looking at the Valaki map and it has like a big bar and it goes from 250 feet, 500, 1,000, 2,000, then into 1 mile. Why is my mile 5,280? I wonder what that number is about. Point is, kids, he takes a look at you all. How? Let's get this one thing out of the way. You are heavily armed, for one. There's no subtlety in that, unless you're specifically hiding all your equipment all the time. You have a dog with you. One of you
Yeah,
is a bit pale in complexion and like hiding in the back. Another is practically a walking light, like a flashlight. He's just walking all over the place. And then you,
Gilmer
Martha,
admit
are just some dude.
we're weirdos. That's kind of par for the course.
Yeah, he doesn't quite know how. Like you look like, but are you're kind of the poster child for an adventuring group. You know, like if you're different, you can always adventure. You know, and
yeah.
it his brain like stops working for a moment from this.
I did say we were travelers. Well, agree that we were travelers.
So what he's trying to do is he's trying to formulate a question like, should I ask them to but you know, like he wants to think out, oh, here's a question, and if they answer correctly, then I'll know that they're on the good side at the very least. But he can't think of anything. So the other guy next to him, who's been mostly leaning on a spear, apparently taking a nap because he stretches and yawns for a moment. Travelers, was it?
Uh,
Come on
yeah.
through, come on through, open the gate. And he leans right back into his spear.
Thank you.
The other guard's like,
What?
oh, uh, uh. I presume you walk back by him at that point.
Yep, he's stammering, so I'm going.
Just when do angels hang out with sickly people?
To heal them. But I'm gonna get up
Many
for a second.
reasons.
The road
Yeah.
medicine.
I'm gonna get up for a second. You're right.
Bella, no! Grabby hands! Oh no, it's. Wait, is it Easter? Oh, it's Easter weekend, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, that came fast.
So since we're not doing it, what was supposed to happen with that Brazier thing? Because that's 2 campaigns we haven't figured it out on.
In the original one, you're supposed to get the skull from Ravenloft, you know, the last dungeon in the game. It's also in a place that's pretty dangerous to get to. Like, you don't get to the bone room without being ready to fuck up Strahd, unless you have a death wish. You bring it over there and you get +1 to your armor class. Yay!
So we couldn't do anything with it.
No, I wouldn't have given you +1 armor class. 2E would fall apart if I did that.
So did you have anything in mind for us to do with it?
Well, yeah, but that didn't happen. It was meant to be like a superfluous thing. I was being intentionally difficult for that reason.
Fun.
Yeah.
Hey. Hey.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I
Are you
mentioned
going
this
anywhere
twice.
with that hay?
Well, Zyla's being a big old grump. because they like to be hoity-toity, highty-tighty.
Nah,
I
it's
mean,
just
I'm in Xyla's camp, honestly.
I was kind of hoping we'd do something there.
And then we do the actual thing, and just immediately it's destroyed.
And
Yep.
then we apparently failed a quest because
You didn't.
well, you had the lights all turn on.
Yeah, but that wasn't
And-
your quest, was it?
Would
You were
have been
told to go.
interesting.
You were told to go bring this bone back to where it came from, and you did that. I don't know why we're being so bent over backwards over turning on the light in a place no one lives. Actually, trying to think about if there's any clues even in Strahd that returning the skull even gets you any benefit, or if it's just like a thing you can figure out, which is delightfully Gygaxian design, but it's an addition as well. It's not in the original. Because everything north of the gates, the second set of gates, is new. Bone Room. Man, I love that there's a fucking bone. Hall of Bones, there's the term. The Dragon Skull
The
was 250.
Bonalium.
Bones, bones, bones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bones! Oh, the chairs are made of bones? The table made of bones? A chandelier made of bones? Gosh. I guess that's the one room you can call bonerific. Oh, and they're human bones too. Delightful. The only mention is above the eastern doors and onto the skull of a dragon. Okay, that's not very descriptive. And unfortunately, the handout is written in cursive. Very loopy cursive. Oh no, wait, I remember where it gives you that clue, or it's supposed to give you that clue. It's in the house itself. You go over to a fireplace. A fire elemental jumps out. You're not supposed to kill it, which is not Gygaxian design. That's just being a dick, because that's setting players up for failure. Like, they literally have them roll initiative, and it acts on count 10, which one player is going to beat. AC 15, 1 hit point, you're going to fuck it up. It explodes and hurt you if you hit it. Which is basically putting a trap in front of the players and going like, this is a trap. And then they touch it and like, haha, the trap was that you touched the trap at all. And then the dragon goes, hey, oh no, it's not even that specific about it. It's just like, hey, my knights have followed Stark savings, you can show them the light. Oh, that's not even that. Cool. Then who tells you about the skull? Or is that really just a thing of like, figure it out? Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's the slash picture. Gotta rub your hands on that painting. And repair it. Holy shit, the mending cantrip has a use. Then the beacon.
We're in a party that, unless Delilah has it, doesn't have mend.
Yep.
Do
And
you have mend?
I would like to point out that the mending cantrip is the only means of repair that it suggests.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else would even work on it without using like high-end magic. You wouldn't waste on that.
That's good writing.
Well, maybe you just have you have a needle and thread, you know? Stitch, stitch.
Yeah, but you'd also have to be like a master at painting restoration.
There's one big problem that I have with this. So, he goes, my skull lies in the fortress of the enemy, displayed in the place of ill omen, return to its rightful crypt, my spirit will stand forever, bring hope to this dark land. But, the problem that I have is, it's a magical painting, you need to repair it, then it activates, but only once. The effect isn't a spirit, but a spell-like effect, implying someone enchanted this painting, and it doesn't work unless you... What the fuck is going on with this painting? If it's not a
Harry
spirit,
Potter.
if it's not a fucking spirit, why is it enchanted? Who did this?
Harry Potter.
Just imagine me standing in the room and like the backstage area, holding up the whole painting with one hand, this large person-sized painting with one hand, going like, "What the fuck is the deal with this?" Did they just think that obscure design is what like the thing is Ravenloft wasn't even written by Gygax. It was just made in that era, and it was considered a great thing. And they just like I guess obtuse means good design. Is what Ravenloft. No, the whole point was to reward clever design. The whole idea, the whole spirit of the time was your players did something stupid, something different, something fresh, and you were like, okay, that probably has an effect. Instead of going, these are the effects things have if players do things. Like, just say if the players repair the picture, bam, you leave it an open question. Someone is like, I have sovereign glue, and it's like, you want to spend it on a fucking painting? Sure. Don't stick your hands to it. Always wear gloves when using glue. If only because some glues are caustic. Please don't burn your hands on caustic glue. It hurts and it sticks. Also, in case I never mentioned it, Agronforce is, I think, placed to a gay couple, which is very underplayed. It might even be skipped if you just want to come in there and bash the skulls, which I think is hilarious. Point is, kids, you're in Vallaki. It's a town with people and places. The village of Barovia had this sort of downplayedness to it. How to describe that? You know, more of a daily grind kind of place where people have gotten into the grind of time, growing their crops and living day by day. The village of Vallaki, on the other hand, has that towny feel of there are definitely people here who just live with other people and don't have to do any work, so they're just out and about in the middle of the day, throwing a bottle of something around, going hoity-toity, I'm drunk, as drunk people are wont on to declare. Additionally, there are many carts, which is to say any carts at all, of merchants pawning their wares in the large main street that goes straight through Vallaki, which I'll give them props for this. That is a good main street. It's a pretty straight road going straight through town, as it should. Also, just a quick recommendation for anyone who ever wants to design cities. Look at European cities for like 5 seconds and realize that you don't have to design everything in blocks. Gosh, I'm going to be so confused if I ever go to America and see all the houses in these blocks.
Depends on where you are.
It's scary. It's so weird. Why is the yard so big?
Because we have a lot of space.
To throw the baseball.
It was called Manifest Destiny, not Manifest Backyard. Anyway.
Lots of room for the football.
Your cart will take you through Vallaki, unless you want to go to any particular destination or figure out about the existence of any particular destination. You can find most basic amenities you can find in a town here. There's a church along the way, there's probably an inn somewhere, a town square where most business is conducted. And ooh, Dizzy, it's the coffin shop from which again, I still think is the funniest fucking shit. Is that Red Hand of Doom features a coffin shop. They reused that very map for this one, and I don't know why, but it's funny.
So I remember when we did the coffin shop thing, and the first time we did Curse of Strahd, I almost killed a man with a door.
To be fair, that happens more often than you think.
Because Claire, like, drank the holy water.
Hotline Miami them.
Thaumaturgy, as in Tiefling. I made the door open in front of a guy running from us.
Whoa! To be fair, if someone's about to shoulder bash down a door, opening it for them is a great way to throw off their balance. They're not Wario, they don't magically stop at the end. Man, the Wario shoulder bash sound effect was great. Point is, you're in a town. Do you want to go anywhere or do anything? Or are you just going to wait the night and then go over to that windmill in the morning?
May as well look to see if they need us for anything.
No, explore around a little.
See if anyone has information on these bone grinder hags.
Toot toot toot. I would appreciate an index of locations.
Wait, the bone grinder. I want to research something while we're in town.
What do you want to research about the bone grinder?
Who owns the bone grinder?
A little bit of poking around will reveal that the bone grinder is apparently owned by Strahd.
Are these hags employees of Strahd?
So the best you can figure out, by the way, is that the bone grinder's just been in his possession for forever. It's not been necessarily been used. It's just his. It's just it never changed hands. Yeah. Uh, People are like, they live there. Strahd knows they live there. It's probably fine. Or maybe they're just allowed squatters. Go ask them. They can show you the deed and everything, or whatever they have.
I do wish to do this. I want to evict them if I can.
I don't know why you're so upset with these nice old ladies, but there you go.
Hey, if they're gone, then technically we sort of fulfilled our job.
What?
I mean, that druid lady wanted us to get rid of them. If I can evict
Oh,
them
yeah.
from their home,
Now, I'll be honest, that would work if you had signed a contract that specifically mentioned that in very plain language that you had to get rid of them. But unfortunately, this is a verbal contract which is allowed to spar in the verbal arena. Fist ups. Pew, pew. Point is, the bone mill is indeed owned by Strahd, and apparently they're allowed to live there, or they're at least tolerated. They might have power over him. But you know, what are those rumors that hit your ear? After all, why else would three old ladies be allowed to live there?
I mean, they're
Strahd's
always there.
into the gilfs. I got it.
Additionally, one of the ladies, the old ladies, comes over to this village to pawn off her wares from time to time. So essentially, during most of the day, the bone grinder is staffed by only one of the three of them that live there. Morgantha heads over to the village of Barovia. You know that. The person who comes over here is called Bella Sunbane. And Ophalia, which is spelled like awful, is the one who apparently holds the fort during the meantime.
So you wanna
Seconds after you
take
ask this question, a merchant nearby, noticing that you are an outsider and look very spiffy in your scale mail, will start to push some wares in your face. For some reason, he's trying to sell you a fine tiara.
ooh,
I'm gonna try to investigate and see if there's anything weird about this tiara. I don't trust these people.
He is just a pushy merchant trying to push a tiara. But
Mhm.
if you roll me a 1 in 100 and you roll me either a 100 or a 1, I'll say that it's something magical and weird. Because that's just how life works. I imagine this is a world where people just end up with magic garbage for no reason.
Nope.
Nope. It's not
I
magical.
just got it at a pawn shop or something.
But
It's
he
plastic.
does play up in the most legalese non-committal language that it has positive effects on your well-being. Wear it
It-
and your beauty will passively enhance.
It'll straighten your back.
It will enhance your posture, which might
What's
be
it
because
made out of?
it's gosh, what would it be made of? Probably like silver and has a nice little ruby at the center and some smaller gems around it. It has an elegant yet fierce appearance. It's also a menace with spikes of human bone. Because this is Dwarf Fortress, and I don't know why, but Dwarf Fortress likes to give every single artifact something menacing with spikes.
Well, I'm gonna try to haggle down the price.
You're really invested in this fine tiara, aren't you?
They look kind of cool.
It
Yeah.
does look. I mean, if you want to be a warrior princess, this is the beginning of your fine cosplay.
I mean, I kind of fit that.
You're a lawyer princess, Harry.
You're a lawyer, Harry.
Unfortunately, it's quite an expensive piece of art. For 8 charges. Gosh, okay. I'm very familiar with prices in gold pieces, not in silver piece standard, so give me a moment. 50 gold pieces, that's the price. That's what he wants for it. For this fine piece of work. It even includes like a cheap bottle of silver polish.
I'm gonna try to talk it down for that 5 gold. Maybe. Yeah.
You trying to talk him down all the way to 5 gold?
No, isn't 50 silver 5 gold?
No, he's saying 5 gold. 50. Jesus Christ, my brain is frying. So he's asking for 500 silver.
500 silver. So,
So 50 gold.
Or 5
Yeah.
platinumed pieces.
I'll try to talk him down.
All right.
Like,
What's your angle here? How are you gonna haggle him down? Are you gonna do the feigned insults? Are you gonna just give him numbers and spin a Rooney that head of his?
yeah, I'm just gonna be like, it looks fine, but if you look at me being knowledgeable of these type of things, if you look closely here, there's a couple, imperfections that
Oh
the
gosh.
trained eye
Okay,
find.
gotcha. I gotcha. Don't worry, Martha. Well, let's take a look. See what skill do you think is appropriate for haggling him under the table like this?
I, that would probably be deception.
Show me the goods then.
Uh, Good.
Oh, that's delightful. Well, you're pretty high up, and even you don't have a DC 23, so yes, you managed to haggle him under the table by spinnerooning him. He'll go down to 40, but no less. But he does keep the bottle in the sale, the little silver polished one.
Mm, Still too rich for my blood.
It's 20% discount. Come on.
But it is a fine piece of jewelry. I'm sure it'll find a proper home for someone who is not quite as aware.
That's a slap in the
Backhanded.
face.
And I walk away.
So I I was looking around like magic items because I wanted to see because I figured it might be cute if like the gemstone was like an Aeon stone of some kind to glue a little in the dark because this is kitchen sinkian. It's pretty cool if you bought a tiara and had a little light switch you can tap on. But I find out the Ring of Discretion, which I'm gonna ask Zyla if this is a war crime. This ring magically conceals any armor or sheathed weapons you are wearing by turning them invisible or creating the illusion of ordinary clothes. So remember how they were going to make Agents of Edgewatch less of a problem because of the whole police thing? How
Yeah,
much?
that's pretty
Yeah,
bad.
that's not nice.
Yeah, because that means you could just have your soldiers wandering around the populace.
Yeah. So there is sometimes people are concerned with the concept of plainclothes cops. This is like you're undercover and ooh. I'm pretty sure that some people would consider this a form of war crime to have people look unarmed when they are definitely armed. But yeah, gosh. Paizo, I think that discretion isn't your best part. Awkward wink. Yes. Also, as you are running around town, I imagine that. What are you doing, Delale? Just following your friends?
Just kind of, going around trying to eavesdrop on people and listening to
Unfortunately, your
conversations
eavesdropping
and whatnot.
gets kind of cut short by someone like hanging off your sleeve, going, "Oh dear, you look like your face. You look all pale. You should visit the church, dear, the church, St. Andrews. There's the bones of a saint will surely do you good."
Well, thanks for the advice.
"You look pale as snow, dear. You really should be more careful." She's hanging off of your sleeve in the way that some old people do, where they put like all their weight on you as if you're a walking stick.
I just don't get a lot of sun. That's all.
Which is a very, very rich man thing to say. By the way, Paizo, why are all your peasants so pale? They're literally out in the sun all day. You're setting some more sun. Crank up that sunny D, Sarenrae. Anyway, this little old lady takes a bit of convincing to let you go. Do you want to eavesdrop for anything specific, by the way? Are there any particular rumors you wish your ears to hear?
Mostly anything to do with like Strahd and that kind of situation. Like if the people have any kind of opinions on him or if they're just like avoiding talking about him
Okay,
in general.
you can give me deception or stealth. Or society, I guess, since you are maneuvering your way. You can give me any one of those. And if you're particularly good, I might give you something nice and juicy.
Alright.
I mean, that's not what I'm looking for in terms of amazing. I'm looking
Yeah,
for that critical.
It's okay.
Okay, well, rumors about Strahd. Gosh, you'll pick up quite a few. Valaki is a big town. Lots of merchants come here who are here like only on through fare. So, they're the kind of people who pick up these sporadic rumors all over the place. And they're not around long enough to confirm anything, so they just spout the weirdest shit. Which, on the plus side, means that they lead to some hilarious rumors. Um, One of them is that Strahd used to be a woman. Ooh, that kind of stuff. But one that sticks with you, in particular, is kind of a strange one about his business as a whole, which says that there are rumors that he's technically at war with someone. I've heard left and right of people getting attacked out of nowhere. Now, don't get me wrong, dear, but and they lean in a bit closer. But luckily, Delilah is a sneaky beaky and is close enough to steer hear this, despite them being all careful. I heard that it's not just one person he's fighting either. They're coming from all sides. Some are made of some of those big fleshy boys, like a werewolf or one of those. They have an extra arm on their back and an eye in their socket. And then there are the trees, but they're not friends either necessarily. I've heard. Am I glad that I'm not part of any of that stupid politics stuff? Can you imagine having to deal with trees trying to kill you? You could never walk into a garden anymore. I can scarcely hazard the thought. At that point, they turn to the more meandering things of like, did you know that the fisherman, his fish, they're rotten. They're very bad. He sits on them for months. He catches a lot of them with a big net, and he sits on them for a month, and they're all bad.
In on it with pharmacists, to cure them with their food poisoning.
Okay, you know what?
Conspiracy,
That's exactly what's going on.
Double dipping on the economy.
The church is trying to get extra money by having all the doctors under them, and they take a big cut. It's like a whole mafia thing.
Yeah, it's like the old days.
Like every once in a while, someone's like, "I'm so sick," and he goes up to the snake oil salesman and goes, "Please cure me." And like, "Oh man, he touched me. I'm better now." Ooh, what a scam!
I've been cured.
Oh man, that lay on hands cured my syphilis. Time to go get it again.
Mm.
because everyone in this village has it.
Yeah, pretty sure. What else are they going to do?
I mean, that's how the paladins make their money.
Shut up. You don't know about that.
You can't talk about our people.
Can't prove anything.
Point is, you're in a nice town. You spend some time walking around, shaking some hands, making some deals. If you want to make any financial transactions and buy any particular equipment or items or sell anything out of your pockets and get rid of it, there's enough trade that you can get rid of most items. Like for your level especially, you can probably get rid of it. You probably can't get rid of that cursed sword given that it glows and even a common person can feel like the evil radiating from it, so... If you want to get rid of that, you'll just have to throw it into the river or something.
Maybe take it to the church and see if they can do anything about it, but probably not. Seems a bit more powerful than a...
You'll get to the
Generic
church, and
church.
it'll start telling you to kill the church.
It's also possible that if this does have saintly bones, that the sword literally just gets stuck on an invisible wall and you walk through it and past it, and then you get, whoa, fall over backwards.
Great, the sword's programmed by Bethesda.
You just see Martha walking in place at the entrance.
Like the sword on
And
her
when
back.
you walk by her, I was an adventurer until I got this sword.
Then I got stuck at the church. I got caught in a corner. Anyway, yes. So what's the deal?
I might get like a formula book to.
No. If you want to take care of transactionary stuff, please do it in like the downtime, because that's a better time to do it anyway. I can start the server up whenever, really, so. Makes life a bit easier on everyone.
And I don't think there's anything I want to sell, per se, that might want to get rid of the expired pies. So.
They're magic pies. Who knows if they expire?
Huh. Do they look like they're going bad? Or
Listen, it's your call if you think those pies are bad or not.
alright, I'm keeping them.
Hey, listen, as long as they don't.
We're gonna finish the campaign, and you're gonna have pies.
Hey, man, listen, you don't waste your elixirs until the final boss. You never know when it's the final boss either. So. Although I don't know why I would want to get high in the final fight, but hey, there you go. Point is, yes. Are you gonna stay here for the night, or are you gonna go straight through to the bone meal? At this point, you'll probably arrive by like it's proper sundown. If you
May
were
as
to
well
go,
stay the day.
marvelous. The biggest inn in town is the Blue Water Inn, or you can see about just shacking with some strangers. That's also appropriate for the era.
We can
Which
Airbnb.
which is a fun thing that I just realized is that Village of Barovia does not actually have an inn, which probably is supposed to reflect that mentality. I don't know, or maybe it's just like, oh, the module's like an hour. Don't worry about staying anywhere. You're invited to the castle anyway. Benefit of setting it
Well,
in
we
one
could
location.
during the day part. We could spend some time seeing if there's anything to do around town.
Doing around town. Anyway, you go to the Blue Water Inn, which is conveniently located quite centrally in the village. The one real major offshoot of the roads that goes towards Lake Zerovich. That's where it is. This is some primetime real estate. The Blue Water Inn is a pretty large structure compared to most houses around here, taking up easily like 2 to 3 building block slots. Because the houses here are small and thin most of the time. Some of them are big, but most of them are like skitty, minimalistic space. The structure has a certain welcoming feel to it, and a large like sign hanging off the front that depicts a blue waterfall. It has stabling space according to the sign as well, which it shows by having a little horse with a roof over his head. And it even has an overhang in the front, even above the well, which means that you can stand outside and smoke and not bother anyone. Although, in this time, people probably just smoked inside.
No one
People
really cares.
smoked in their beds at this point in time.
Listen,
Led to probably 20 deaths a year.
yeah, to setting themselves on fire, beds back then probably weren't uninflammable.
Is it weird that flammable and inflammable both mean on fire?
Yep.
Welcome to bonus stage, in terms of weirdness. Handsome. The Blue Water Inn is run by a family of a bunch, who all scoot around the place, making the most of the space they have. Which is to say, the place is busy, and the kids know how to make their way around. You can call it child labor if you want to, but they seem to be more than happy to help, keeping this place a churning. The lady in charge, who's behind the counter, has her eyes sharp on everyone, and is keen to point out anyone trying to pull any funny business.
Hello. 1 room and 3 Ls?
If all of you are here, she's like, 1 room? I do have a larger common room, yes, for 4, if that's what you're looking for. She says this, not breaking eye contact, as she turns around and gets ale from a large, cask barrel.
Whatever is suitable. I mean, we don't really need 3 bedrooms, do we?
Well, no, she's
Oh.
like, we have a bedroom with 4 beds in it.
It's like a hostel style.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she explains that they also put like beds rolls out here. For this place functions as the common room during the off hours.
Yeah. This place looks like a fine place to hang your coat, if
Mm-hmm.
one will. Uh, so yeah.
If you're here for a room, that'll be an electrum per person. Includes breakfast and dinner.
An electrum.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yep. 5 silver. Sorry.
It I'm assuming that's kind of like a hay penny or a $2 bill.
It's like 5. Yeah, it's 5 silver. It's a currency you don't see everywhere. Not a lot of people use the electrum piece, primarily because Paizo's weird and doesn't want to use it. But I think it's more that not everyone wants to bother. It's come on, it's 5 silver. You can pull that out of your pocket with ease.
I will remove 5 silver.
No, I actually have some electrum upstairs.
Oh my. Electrum's a
Yeah,
funny
it
material
grows.
too.
Yeah, it's a natural gold-silver alloy. I have a few rocks up in my room that have it. You can find it in small amounts in rocks that look like this.
It also has a funny name, Electrum. Very big name. When you think about it, like you got elements like bronze, and then you have what is it called? I just had another one in my head, and I forgot about it immediately. But yeah, it's a very big name for an alloy.
Especially a naturally occurring one.
Yeah. Did get used though, and does look pretty. Yeah, but
Yeah, I gotta find the rock that has some in it.
the main reason most people don't do Electrum coins is because you can make them look like gold a lot easier. And then you basically double your value, and that's not good. Well, okay, you get the room with 4 beds, so your dog can sleep on their own if you insist on that.
Yeah.
So, don't look like traders, might be travelers. Let me guess. She looks you over, goes through options in her head, like scholars, probably not enough books. Probably not architects. No. Are you demon hunters?
I mean, sure, sometimes.
It's pretty broad what we do, but that demon hunting could be in that range.
I don't
Well-
think I've hunted a demon before.
I have.
Does
Well-
Barghest count?
Yeah,
Probably.
it's a fiend.
Oh, yeah.
The most demon hunters qualify as anything that's naughty and not from here.
In which case, yeah, we did once.
Well, then I'm sorry to disappoint. There are too many fiends around this place anyway, but hey. That's probably why you're on the road, isn't it?
Just looking for some coins, some work,
Gonna
some
need any directions once you're done here?
well,
Have
what
there
about
been
this?
any interesting rumors in the last week that you've heard? A lot of people probably come through here.
Interesting rumors. What makes you think that a person who listens to drunk people babble on for hours would get any good rumors around here?
Well, have you
Literally everything that you just said.
Well, let's just say that I might have heard some rumors of my own about individuals who may or may not resemble your description.
Someone's been stealing our thing.
Probably, sure. What kind of rumors are you looking for? Looking for some trading advice? I can
Well,
tell you what they think's not going to do too well in Varizia in a couple of months.
More possible dangers along the road we could help take care of. Help the common folk.
Can you help with droughts? Because they're expecting a big drought in Varizia. Well, if you're talking more like road dangers, I wouldn't recommend going on the road after any time the sun's down. Or when the sun's up, really. Got to worry about plants, and they got to worry about the werewolves, and if you're lucky, you got to worry about the worms. Or the devil, sea devil guys, the scaly things.
When you say worm, are you spelling it with an O, a U, or a Y?
I don't even know what the one with the U would be.
Basically, giant snake things.
No. Someone here with one hell of a big red nose, bigger than a clown, redder than a strawberry, started talking about seeing a person made of worms. Like shaped like a person, but no, the flesh is worms.
Oh,
That's gross.
Apparently ask a hell of a lot of questions, and I don't know. Reminds me of those people who come from... What's that place even called again? Ugh.
Farted fell.
Yeah, no. She's trying to recall, Oriental Adventureland over there in the west east. It's a planet.
Rokugan?
It goes both ways.
The East TM.
Exactly. Well, to be fair, you can technically trademark that because Orientalism is a specific thing, so you can't associate a trademark with it. Point is,
Isn't it Rokugan?
not in this setting. Rokugan, by the way, was a short-lived marketing thing. I don't think they have the rights to republish it, and that might be what gets Oriental Adventures more than anything. But she's talking about the Oriental Adventure section of Galarian because spirits there are funny as it were. You know, the weird guy, like, oh, he has an eye for a butthole. What the hell is that? It's like, oh, you were talked to by a worm man who just asked you some questions. I guess the worm questionnaire is in town.
Also, has anything weird been happening by the lake?
By the lake, by the lake. Oh yeah, I wouldn't recommend going on the lake anytime soon.
Not
Most of
even
the
the
fishermen
fish?
have been sticking to the rivers.
Huh?
Hmm. I mean, to be fair, most people already know about the madman who lives up in the Northwoods, but
I mean, we didn't.
well,
But
now
why
you
not most?
do. Congratulations. My statement has become true over time.
This is fair.
Her hand suddenly flies over your shoulder. She points at someone behind you and yells at them, like, "Put that down!" We were saying?
Ah, March, I guess, we should,
Do
have you
werewolves
heard?
count as fiends?
Oh, yeah,
Because
what counts as fiends?
werewolves.
They're beasts. They're primal. See, I'll give you this much. This is a thing that I think is kind of funny because they now have primal. They have a proper divine nature thing. A lot of things get funny. You can definitely make weird new arguments, and I don't know if I like it. It's funny, but she does continue on about the lake thing, which is that people have seen glowing stars under the surface of the lake, shifting constellations and patterns
Oh, that is weird.
in the
Did they happen
mists,
to
in the
see that
distance,
at
large
night?
creatures. You know, like a whale.
In a lake.
Hmm.
That is good information to know. We may, pass around the lake, eventually. Probably not go through it. Wonk.
Mm-hmm. Well, you do what works for you. Just don't try not to get in the way of the old cranky man. He shoots lightning out of his fingers or something.
Well, that's new information. But pertinent.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, ever since that whale started showing up, most people just decided to stick to the river. It's a bit safer, you know. Saves them the trouble of getting their asses whooped or their boats tipped.
So where would we find this angry man? Just kind of lurking around the lake then?
Best I can hear, he's usually on the lake's coast during the mornings. And the evenings, probably doing some fishing of his own.
Might be worth checking out.
Mm.
I guess I should have expected your type of all people, to go like, oh man, a madman who shoots lightning?
If
Let's
he's
walk
caught,
towards it.
if he's causing problems.
If he gives you a monetary reward, I expect 10% commission for the info.
Finder's fees, standard practice.
That's the Shadowrun way, baby.
Pretty sure there are unions for this in larger cities. The quest giving
The Gossip
NPC
Mill.
union.
The Gossip Guild. But yes, if you would like to ask further questions, you did pay them a quite sizable bounty of 15 silver, which is like, sure, I'll run my mouth a bit.
We have a goal for the morning.
Yeah, we got something to do before we do our other thing.
I can't think of other things. I'm not good at thinking of things.
To the beds.
To bed it is.
Sleepy beepy.
Insert your sleep song of choice. We'll cut it here for today, and the next time, what are you guys gonna do? Gonna go over to an old mill, knock on the door, bother some old ladies who are just trying to bake some pies?
First there's the madman.
Excellent. That's the priority.
And we do have a timetable on the time limit on the windmill thing.
Yeah, but this is literally right next door.
But it's
Listen, they can't
Yeah.
shoot. Listen, you're being safe. You're not gonna travel on the road by dark. That's dangerous. They have to be understanding of that. Be understanding, Bella. Please.
I am.
Think about your puppos. They might stub their little toesy woesy.
No. Put little socks on Shaska's paws.
To be fair, due to the bone structure and construction of a dog, I don't think they can stub their toes. Additionally, their means of locomotion means that they can't stub their toes because their front paws are always lifted up and forwards instead of sliding forwards or shifting forwards. Their back paws just kind of swing, and they're pretty light, and also the toes are already curled downwards, so if they stub, it's not a big deal. Unless the claws get caught on the upswing, in which case, ow wow wow.
And then the woofer is unhappy.
And the dog falls over, holds their leg, and goes, ah, for a minute. Just to pad out the episode.
I read a thing that Trump's lawsuit might have just gotten bad because someone pulled an old lawsuit of his up.
Oh no, what? Who?
So they're talking about how his net worth may have been inflated upwards of like 35%.
That's a lot.
In,
why is this a problem, though?
Lot. Well, it's illegal to claim that much and put it on your taxes. And they're trying to ask if he inflated the value of his property for any reason. And he's like, oh, no, of course I didn't. Several years ago, in a court deposition, he said he always did at least a little bit of putting the, quote, best spin on things. Saying, well, who wouldn't do that? They once asked by what metric he gauges his property values. He said he puts by how much he feels it's worth.
Listen, you didn't have to finish that sentence, and I would have finished it for you.
Yeah, it's really obvious how Trump does everything.
Also, I just want to point out that this particular section of Hill, I can't look at that without thinking that that is a Willy with a very bad ending.
Yeah, that is a wiener.
Or it's wearing a condom, and it's full. Ew! Why did you do this, Watsy? I don't need dingle dongles on my map. Anyway, I'll see you Disney tomorrow for another exciting game of Traveler.
Hey.
Out back in with the yeehaws and the yeehaws.
They'll travel in place.
They're on a Wild West planet, and they're gonna help a guy make friends.
I have assisted.
I just realized this adventure is so corny if you put it like that. We're out in the outback helping this old general settle down and make some friends. And then the My Little Pony theme song starts in the distance. Oh no. Ugh. Anyway, we'll see how it works out. I'm sure he's just called Madman because people here don't understand the psychological needs of someone neuroatypical.
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't exactly have psychologicalists.
Actually, before I think Restoration could cure madnesses. So, yeah, it's a weird setting when you think about it. It's for the poor. I know that a lot of people. I know that I was one of those people who was like, why would this be a problem? And I'm like, it's a poor people problem. It's always a poor people problem. You can have a fucking cure for Alzheimer's and it'll still stay a poor people problem because that's just how the world works, baby. We can literally cure cancer and it will stay a poor people problem. Hell, that's why Corona's a problem. Really, when you put your finger in the right place.
It's almost as if when you have the money and resources to fix problems, you have less problems.
Yeah, but you see, it's almost like when you have the money and resources to fix problems, you have all that money.
Man.
And less problems.
No. You have less problems.
And you get to laugh at
people who everybody don't. Else.
The best kind of schadenfreude is when you punch down.
Yep. Also, speaking of Corona, my mom has been pissing me off so hard the last few days.
What has she done? I mean, you've just found like a massive long box full of old musty comics.